Hello again, fourth graders. This is Miss Frost here with your science lesson for the week. This week we're going to be focusing all about shadows. So your learning objective is I can collect and analyze data to identify sequences and predict patterns of change in shadows. Now you will be collecting some data with your experiment inside your activity packet. But for now, we're just going to review what a shadow is and some different facts about why shadows are changing throughout the day. I want you to look around the room that you are in to see if you can find an example of a shadow. Right now in my room, there's a window. And through that window, the sun is shining outside and it's bringing light into my room. If I walk over to my window and I put maybe my hand in front of where the sun is coming through, I can see that there creates a shadow on the floor. That shadow of my hand is appearing because my hand is blocking the light. Where the sun would be shining into my room, I put an object or my hand in front of it, which blocks the light that would be shining down to the floor. Your anchor chart says shadows occur when an object blocks light from a light source. So here we have a picture of a dog, and the sun, which is the light source, is shining down towards the ground. Now the reason that there's a shadow where our dog is standing is because our dog is blocking that light and creating a shadow or a spot where there is no light hitting the ground. Other than the sun, I want you to think about other types of light that could give shadows. Anything that produces light can also make shadows. These can be natural light, things that are found in nature, or they can be artificial light, which is things that we make, things that might be in our homes that are not found in nature. Artificial light might be things like lamps or computers. Because they give off light, they are able to produce a shadow. We can actually see a little bit of a shadow in our picture of our lamp. There's a shadow where the on and off switch is blocking the light from the lamp, and you can see that little piece on the wall as a shadow. Now, natural light is what we're going to focus on. This can be things like fires, and the most common way that we see shadows is through the sun. The sun lights up our entire earth, so whenever it's sunny outside, we're able to see shadows because we are blocking that light from the sun. So if you woke up early in the morning and you stood in the same spot all day and you watched the sun, you'd be able to see that the sun would rise and it would move across the sky throughout the day. And eventually, it would set at the end of the day. To us, it looks like the sun is going up and coming down. So it looks like the sun is moving across the sky. What's happening here is actually called the apparent movement of the sun. Although the sun looks like it's moving across our sky throughout the day, we know that the sun is at the center of our solar system. So the sun isn't actually what's moving. What is moving is our Earth. The reason the sun appears to be moving is because of how the Earth is actually moving. Our Earth is always moving. It's orbiting around the sun, which means it's going around the sun, which happens once every year, but it's also rotating. And rotating means that it's spinning. We know that Earth spins on an axis, which is what causes our seasons. So it's always going around and around like a top. Because the Earth is spinning, every day it makes one rotation. That means every day the sun looks like it goes across the sky and then sets. So every day we have day and we have night. So the sun is the center of our universe and it's staying right where it is. But because the Earth is rotating, that makes it look like the sun is going through the sky and moving. So let's think about what this has to do with shadows. We're going to use a tree to investigate this. The tree is not going to move throughout the day. The tree is planted and it's staying in the same spot in the ground. So early in the morning, our sun begins to rise. And as soon as we have light early in the morning, our shadow is going to be very long. Because the rays of the sun are coming at this angle, the light is being blocked and will make a very long shadow. Now what's going to happen is our sun rises up further and further into the sky. Let's say a few hours go by and my sun begins to move up into the sky. Now the sun rays are coming at a little bit of a different angle. My shadow is not going to be quite as long as it was in the morning. It's going to be a little bit shorter. Now as the sun continues to move up higher in the sky, my shadow is also going to continue to change. Let's say we're almost at noon, almost at the top. My shadow's gotten a lot shorter and the direction is changing a little bit. Now since the sun rays are moving at this angle, my shadow is going to be shorter and it's going to be moving outwards a little bit. Now let's go to the middle of the day when the sun is all the way directly on top of my tree. This is going to be the shortest shadow and it's going to appear to be right in the middle. Now as my sun moves down into the other direction of the sky, what do you think is going to happen to my shadow? Let's see. As my sun continues to move, now the rays of light are hitting from a different direction. So my shadow is going to start appearing on the opposite side of my tree. So my sun is going to continue to move and my shadow is going to go a little bit further to the side and get longer and longer. And now that it's time for the sun to set, my shadow is going to be in the opposite direction and it's going to be as long as it has been all day. So the time that the shadows are going to be the longest is during sunrise, when my shadow is very long on the opposite side, and it's going to be during sunset at night, when my shadow is very long on this side. In between, my shadow is changing directions and it's changing sizes all the time as the sun is moving across the sky, or as the sun appears to be moving across the sky. The shortest shadow will appear in the middle of the day when my sun is right on top of the object. That will be a short shadow and it will be right underneath the object. So as our sun appears to be moving across the sky, the shadows are going to be changing throughout the day. In your activity guide, you can see an experiment where you can try this yourself outside and you can see how your shadow would move throughout the different parts of the day. So thank you for listening to your video about shadows, and we hope you have fun doing your investigation. See you next week.